PokePalooza. Welcome back. New video. Wanted to make a video on my findings and my experience at PokePalooza this weekend in Indianapolis, which was, I'll just go ahead and say it, a fantastic time. I have not been to or really even traveled for a card show before. And it wasn't far, a couple hours. So this was my first experience doing a card show where I actually took the time to get on the road, pack up, prepare for a little mini road trip and head out to a more well-known card show. So for context, PokePalooza has been going on for about 5 months. This was their 5th show, I think they said, which I guess would make sense because it's monthly now. I think maybe they were running some kind of show beforehand, and I don't know if it was called something different. But 5 months now is PokePalooza. PokePalooza is put on by the Collectors Emporium. Go check them out. They're based out of Indianapolis. Really, really cool crew. Really good people. Got the opportunity to go up and speak to a lot of the folks that run that show. I think Rob is the head honcho, from what I gathered. Could be wrong about that, but either way, it was a really good experience. It was deathly cold. We had a lot of snow on the ground, so travel was slow. And it sounds like a lot of the folks who were vending, because it was on a Sunday, had come from a show that was also pretty snowed in on Saturday. So let's just put it this way. The show scene is still very strong. Even in the elements, it was sold out. It was packed. There were people everywhere. It was great vibes. The setup of the show itself, I thought, was fantastic. There was plenty of room between tables on each row or column, however you wanted to look at it. It didn't feel too packed, but it was hustle and bustle. Early bird got in at 9 a.m. So I had a VIP ticket. I came in, I was a little bit late because travel took a while. Got there about 9:20. Was not a line. There was no line. So getting out of the Arctic cold temperatures was quick and easy. Parking was a bit of an issue. That would be my only feedback, would be the parking situation could have been better. It probably would have been better had there not been any snow on the ground, and there was also some cheerleading competition going on, so that, took up a ton of space. It was at the Indianapolis Fairgrounds, which I thought the venue was great. Plenty of space, easy to navigate, just not great parking situation. So that would be my only feedback on the overall logistics. But the show itself, great time. Number of influencers were there, YouTubers. Got to meet the homies Jake and Trey, Jar Chop Collectibles. Could not have been nicer people. The vibes were fantastic. When you see somebody on YouTube and you have your expectations of what they're going to be, sometimes they're different when you meet them in person. Same exact people on video as they were in person. Friendly, smiling, good vibes. Felt super natural and super genuine. It was a really great experience getting to meet those guys. Got a big deal done for some of my silver borders, which I mentioned I am master setting, and we knocked off a bunch of the ones that we needed buying from Jake and Trey. So I have a vendor POV coming. I still need to edit it. I got a ton of footage, a lot of fun interactions, a lot of cool stuff, coin flips, big deals, and just overall good conversations with a lot of vendors and folks who were at the show. So excited to get that edited and put out for you guys. But just some overall comments and feedback wrapped up into a 30,000 foot view that I thought you guys might want to hear in a shorter form video. So number one, conversations with vendors on what's going on with PSA. Obviously, everybody is pretty aware of what's going on with PSA. And I don't think really anybody cared. I've seen, this is a big, Nostalgianomics mentioned this on one of his recent videos on how when you go to a show, the conversations are totally different from the comment sections on threads like Reddit, YouTube, Facebook. Like, the only people in those circles are just full of hate. They're full of stupidity. Nobody knows what they're talking about. And I hate to say that because this is going on YouTube, on one of those forums, but like, it's true. The people at the shows, nobody really cared. We all were in agreement that we're still going to continue submitting to PSA. They're too big to fail. PSA is king. They're the most liquid slabs. Like, this vacuum that we're in on YouTube, Reddit, Facebook, it's so small and confined to such a limited group of people that it's just recycled talking points over and over. And the overall vibe and feel is completely different when you get in person. It's completely different, which I think people need to see that. And I encourage you to go to shows, go touch some grass, get out from behind your computer, like, talk to actual collectors, vendors, people in the hobby that, in the space, that aren't just wrapped up in the YouTube sphere. That would be my biggest advice. So yeah, PSA stuff, it's kind of second. It's gonna fade. Let me just put it that way. It has come, it will go, it will fade, and nobody will care. Second, there really wasn't anything when I talked to vendors. Hey, what's moving? What's moving best at your table? What are you seeing is most liquid? What are you having a hard time moving? Most people just said the people at the shows are buying what they want. Some people were working on master sets. Some people were just wanting to fill out binders and they were picking up small stuff. Other people were looking for expensive stuff like ponchos and PSA 10 grails of EX era gold stars, crystals. Like, literally, the hobby right now, the show scene is just as healthy as it was back in June when the market was at all-time highs. People are buying what they want to buy. They're still looking for good opportunities to buy stuff for the long term, and nothing has slowed down. Everyone is still buying what they want. So that has not changed, which is good signs because it is holiday times and people are being a little bit tighter with their money as they're spending on Christmas and gifts for family and budgeting and getting ready, obviously, for the holidays is typically when spending slows down. But overall, great vibes. Got to meet some really cool people who had been traveling from Cleveland, Pennsylvania, different areas of the East Coast, the Midwest, whatever you want to say, the Northeast, that had come to the show and said that, their experience at shows was very similar to mine. People are buying what they want and they're not really holding back on spending. So this is not coming from just me. This is coming from vendors who were at the show. They are much bigger time than I am. And they all echoed the same kind of sentiment that, although the market is off all-time highs, the spending at shows has really not slowed down. So I thought that was an interesting thing to take away from the show itself. I'd say overall, PokePalooza as a show is somewhere in between a Collecticon and a card party, or like somewhere between a front row and a card party. I haven't been to a Collecticon. I have not been to a Collecticon. I've not been to a front row card show, and I haven't been to a card party. So I was really just trying to get feedback on vendors on like who have been to those things. Hey, what is this? How does this compare? Where does this fall in between those types of shows? And I spoke to some folks who had been to both, and they said it feels like it's right in the middle. You have really laid back feels like card party gives off, where people are just there for the experience. They want to talk about their cards. They want to talk about Pokemon lore and cool stories and the history of, what this card, how you got this card, where did this come from? And I heard some actually really cool stories that I wasn't aware of. So I had a little bit of a learning experience myself, and that was fun to experience too. And so it was just a really good mix. Like, people were ready to wheel and deal. You know, obviously it was a heavy selling show, heavy selling and buying, but it was cool because it wasn't like only about the money. That there was a portion of that, but that wasn't the only thing that it was focused on. So I thought that was good, and it was a great experience because you got you had the best of both worlds. And gosh, now I'm seeing pings on my phone that Pokemon Center is about to drop right now. It's 11 a.m. East Coast on Monday. So let me get my phone ready just in case I need to get in the queue. But yeah, I mean, honestly, that's really it. I think that you know, it was a great experience. It was a good time. I got to meet really cool people, and I would love to go back. I very much am planning on trying to get there again in January. Would love to go back in February. I was supposed to vend the show itself. I got permission to vend in April, and unfortunately I can't do it because that weekend I will be in Mexico for a wedding. So unfortunate, but still looking forward to going, and maybe I'll get an opportunity to vend as some spots open up if there's any cancellations, because Indy is not too far from Cincinnati, and that's an easy road trip, and you know, it'd be fun to set up and see if I can't meet some more folks who I watch all the time. But yeah, that's it, guys. All I wanted to comment. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Pokemon Center is live right now. I am getting in line. Love you guys. Peace. Bye.